Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the AS family. Today I am going to be talking about different dog breeds that are really good for families with kids with autism. So I did a video on cat breeds that were good for kids with autism. If you haven't seen that, you can go check that out. But today we are talking about dogs. When it comes to training dogs for servicing people with special needs, there are three categories. And those are a service dog, therapy dog, or a companion. A service dog is going to be one that requires the most training. Usually you would get these from a certified trainer, and they will have had these dogs usually from birth, training them to do things like retrieve medicine, press buttons in elevators or the automatic doors so that they will open for people. They can also be trained in sensing if a person is having a seizure, or in some cases actually they can predict when a person is about to have a seizure. Specifically for people with autism, they help with calming them during moments of anxiety, for doctor's visits, dental visits, and things like that, or in new spaces. They're essentially there as a companion to help with emotional regulation. So a main difference from service dogs from the other two that I mentioned is that service dogs are going to be allowed in a lot of public areas, businesses, restaurants, libraries, and things. They allow these animals in because they are there to assist the person with disability. So we really think of these as caretakers more so than pets. Usually if you are getting a service animal, there is an application process that you have to go through. And if approved, you would have to sign a contract that specifies that you are agreeing to do these certain things to take care of the dogs. Some of the things could include annual visits to the vet, agreeing to not take the dog to a dog park because that does open the dog up to foreign diseases from other animals and things. So they don't want, or they may not want, for you to take your dog to a dog park. And also not having another pet in the home. Sometimes that could be a requirement. And the reason why that is they don't want the dog to be distracted from its main responsibility, which is to the person that they are being of service to. Usually you'll see these service animals out and about. They wear their cute little capes, and sometimes they will have a sign that says, "Please do not pet the dog." And it's the same situation. They don't want the dog to be distracted, seeking out cuddles and affection when it's supposed to be keeping an eye on its human. There are different disorders that qualify you to receive a service dog. Some of them are PTSD, schizophrenia. Autism is one of the disorders that qualifies to receive a service dog. I would say it has to be a severe case. The person has to show that they are unable to perform the daily tasks of life on their own without a service dog. So some of those situations may be if they have seizures, or if they are paralyzed in some way, or permanently nonverbal. However, if you do not qualify for a service dog, you can still get a therapy dog. Therapy dogs are trained as well. However, they are not as trained as service dogs, and that is because they are specifically for therapy settings. They are to accompany people during occupational therapy, mental health therapy, or speech therapy, any type of office setting. Your service dog will be allowed to enter the building as long as they wear their cape, which designates them as a therapy dog. So the difference between the therapy dog and the service dog is, of course, that the therapy dog is solely trained to provide comfort during times of anxiety. They are not going to retrieve medicines or be able to alert if there is some sort of medical issue going on in the moment, like a seizure or anything. They aren't trained to do that, but they are trained to provide comfort during meltdowns and times of high anxiety. The last category that I spoke of is the companion. This is more so like a pet than the service dog or a caretaker. And they don't require pretty much any training. You could just adopt a dog and that could be your companion. Some of the things that you will want to take into account if you are adopting a dog for companion purposes is the dog's personality, their energy level. If you are looking for a companion, I would say mostly look towards a more calm dog. Some dogs that don't require as much outside running and energy time, and also the dog's temperament. You're going to want a dog that is patient and eager to please. So some of the breeds that are recommended for families with people with autism are the Golden Retriever, the Labrador, and the Poodle. And the reason why these three breeds are mostly recommended is that they are highly intelligent, they are calm and patient, they are eager to please. There are different variations, little mixtures of these dogs. You have the Golden Doodle, which is a mixture of a Golden Retriever and a Poodle. You also have the Labradoodle, which is a Labrador and a Poodle. And you have a few other breeds that are recommended for people with autism are the Burmese Mountain Dog. These are bigger dogs, but they are gentle giants, very calm, very patient, and their coats are soft and provide positive sensory input. So it's calming to just pet the dog, and they're big cuddlers also. So the Burmese Mountain Dog are recommended, as well as the Saint Bernard. They were popularized in the Beethoven movie. They're another large breed, but again, a gentle giant, calm and patient and very good with kids. Now, if you don't want a huge dog like a Burmese or a Saint Bernard or a Poodle, then I would recommend the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. These are a smaller breed of dog, but they have all of those qualities that the other dogs I've mentioned have. Very calm, very patient, great cuddlers, just a really good dog for a home with someone with autism. So I am going to put some links below to different organizations that foster out these specific breeds, and also the organization for service dogs and therapy dogs if you would like to look into those. But I hope this helps, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.